Good morning, good morning, good morning. We'll be starting in a few minutes, as you can see by the timer. Today I just want to tell you about some exciting stuff that's happening with the Brothers of Legacy. We have opened up a membership program, and if you click the link that's right at the bottom, boom, you can be a part of that. We got a lot of background stuff we want to share with you guys, a lot of projects that we got going on. Just the full direction of the Brothers of Legacy, and we want you to be a part of that. So we have opened up a membership. We have different levels, and it gives you an opportunity to invest in Brothers of Legacy, while at the same time learning about what we are learning to do as well. So you can really be a part of this journey. So within that, you'll be part of our Facebook group. You'll get some apparel. You'll have an opportunity to be on screen with us during Freestyle Fridays. It is a plethora of things that are possible just being a part of this membership, and it's growing. So as we grow, you get to grow with us. So before we get started, before we join, make sure you go to that link, hit the link, and within that minute, sign up, be a part. And of course, we're going to give you a shout out for everyone that joins, and be a part of this growth, because it is important that you guys are part of this journey. It's not just about us. It's about you going in the direction that God has set us to go in. So again, hit that link, be a part, and we appreciate you. We are coming into our next season. This is season 2. We have come out of the breaks, and we are now ready to enjoy another all of the stuff that's happening around the world politically, in our communities and things of that nature. So these conversations are going to be taken up a notch. So be a part of that. So we appreciate you as well. All right, let's get into it. Let's enjoy the show. That's it. So we'll see you on the inside. Take care. Slow on the draw.
All right. Yeah. What's going on, man? Good morning to everyone who is coming in.
Good morning.
If you a sports car lady
Edition of The Brothers Who Talk, Brothers of Legacy. Lord have mercy. Too many shows. All right.
Too many shows. Deborah Ra in the building.
Good morning. Sports car lady Cheryl in the building. Happy holidays. Yes, indeed. It's about that time. Good morning, Lisa. Blessings to you as well. Deborah, thank you for coming through. Yes, indeed. He missed y'all. Oh, appreciate you coming back, hanging with us. Mama McCory, great morning to you as well.
The first mama.
All right. So we got a great topic here today. Dig into some stuff. It's going to be amazing, awesome, and stupendous. So, and all my podcast people, thank you for rocking with us. Make sure you share, leave a review, rate and review, as well as let us know what you think. Really, what you really think.
What you really think. Please do.
Tell them why you're mad, son. All right, so
it's super crispy alidocious, right?
So
I used to
get started. I think Terry wanted to share something as well.
Yeah,
so
you know what? Yes. Can I? That would be great if I could.
You can share it, then we'll go into the intro.
All right. So I want everyone to go ahead and share this. Everybody that's here across whatever platform you're watching us on, please share this out, because I want my moment here. I'm just do it in a couple of minutes, but it is a little bit of encouragement to the people that are watching.
Right.
Because I know that sometimes in life that we get to a place where things get so dark and you don't know which way you're going, because it's like going into a room, a dark room, the door closed, no light, and you're trying to feel your way through everything. And at a moment, God will say, let me open this door. Let there be light. Right, like in the beginning, let there be light.
Right.
And when I tell you, this is just a personal testimony for me and my family that we have gone through so much in the past 3, 4 months. From law stuff, mental health stuff,
Right.
having to move. And let me tell you something. When at the moment you think that there is nothing else left, God is going to open that door. So this is my encouragement to you and everybody that's watching. That even though if you're still in the dark room, hang on. If you're hanging on by that proverbial rope, tie a knot in it and continue to hang on. Because let me tell you what God did now. Okay, God has saw fit for us to be able to leave out of Idaho here the next couple of weeks. Not only did He provide for us a place without any struggle,
Right.
got me a job. I got a job at a dealership within 2 minutes of applying.
Wow. Wow.
Then turn around yesterday, God said, okay, the truck that you have has too many miles on it. So you can't drive that across country. We couldn't haul it, but in the back of the U-Haul
Right.
because it's too heavy. And so God said, okay, watch this. I'm gonna do one more thing for you.
Right.
I'm gonna go and give it to where you can go to your credit union, get your newest car refied
Wow.
from a 26% APR to a 9%.
Wow. Nice. Nice.
And then the bank said, you know what? I am going to give you guys another loan to get another car.
Right.
So we got another car, trade in the old truck, and now we have another all-wheel drive car, which will be needed. So in all of this, I remember when we first started, and my wife says, "Baby, we need to move or whatever." I said, "Okay, if it's of God, there would not be any, there would not be any barriers."
Right.
And sure enough, not a one
Wow.
barrier has happened. So I
Wow.
want to encourage everybody that just hang on, it's coming. If it's
Wow.
even if you're in your storm, see, 'cause people say all the time, you know, we're in the same boat. No, we're not in the same boat. We're in the same storm.
Right.
Some people are boating in yachts. Some people are boating in canoes. It's because and that is the level of faith or where we
Right.
are. What's up, Cole?
Hey,
So
so cool. Yes, indeed.
stay strong. Hold on. I just want to brag on God a little bit because He opened the door.
Right.
And if man, I'm telling you, even though I'm nervous and God is like, okay, son, I got you. If I did this, I got you. Don't worry. So
Right.
I just want to encourage everyone out there that's listening to hang on. It's coming.
Hey, man. Hang on. It's coming.
It's coming.
That's the word of the day. We will now stand.
Door to the church now.
So, all right, let's get into it. Oh, but that was good. That was good. Oh, let's kick this off. We got a lot to talk about. So hang tight. Hold on. Let's get it. I didn't want to catch
Good
that.
morning,
First.
good morning, good morning, good morning.
Welcome to another edition. Oh,
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. What's up, everybody?
yes,
Hey,
indeed.
we're back. Hey, Trina.
Yes, cool. Yeah, good morning. Good morning. I didn't put these comments up. He sure did it. Yes, indeed. He said with the letter today, he always provides. Yes, indeed. Good morning, Miss Trina. Uh, he said, wait a minute, a blazer. Yes, indeed. Trying to sport a little something. Yes, I said
Yes,
that very little in your
yeah.
test broadcast. Yes. Amen. Amen.
Yeah, no, I mean, the letter of the day is P. P as in praise. P as in praise. H as in hold on. So it's just whatever you want. The letter of the day brought to you by the letter P. I wonder when my alarm is going off somewhere in the background.
Uh-oh. So my alarm going off.
My
All
alarm.
right. But what was I about to do? All right. So today we're talking about, is our progress real or are we dreaming? Is our progress real or are we dreaming? Um, so what I'm speaking specifically of is our progress as African Americans, Black Americans, the Negroes, however you want to, whatever label you're trying to, we're riding with this year.
Right.
Yeah. So it's, are we progressing or are we dreaming? I've heard a lot. Oh shoot. Hold on, let me drop these bars real quick, yo. But
Sorry.
the the thing is, we have to, like, based on where we were, and for me, I would say going back as far as like from the 60s and 70s, to now. Do you feel like we've made progress, or are we in the same space? Look who just stepped in the room. Let's give him a second. Kablow. All right. What's up, Pastor? Good morning.
Hey there, fellas.
Right on time. So,
Pastor Big Mac.
Good morning.
What's popping and cracking, sir? He loves when I call him that. He laughs at it every time. Pastor Big Mac. Okay.
oh, so, do you feel like we've made any progress in our struggle? Have things, at least, are things a little different, economically, socially? I mean, I guess those are the two biggest, economically and socially. Now, I will say, it's funny, the jokes about the cops and the abuse are still relevant. Like, you listen to Rich Pryor or Red Fox, make certain comments. You're like, wow, those jokes are still, unfortunately, relevant. Like, they still make sense. It's not like a passing thing. It's not a used to, not a back in the day thing. It's still a constant. Cole says, and now it's time to mellow out the smooth jazz tone of the Brothers of Legacy.
Yeah. That's my man. That's all me over here. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, hey, Big Mac and small fries. Cool. Good morning, Pastor. Hey, brothers.
Mama Moses. Good morning.
Enjoyed the wives yesterday. This is a radio show. Yes, indeed. Appreciate you.
Morning, Cole. So who's we?
We, as in Black Americans, African Americans, the Negroes, whichever label we rocking with. Those that are here in the Americas. That's just specifically to this country. The Black community seem to have almost in a forced way been together and united as a people until MLK's death.
Okay.
Do you feel like, what's up, Duane? Good morning. Good morning. Everybody's in the room right at the right time. Holding. Yeah. All right. Like, let's see, you guys are gonna be on the radio show, music, guests, singers, preachers. Nah, we don't need the music.
Hey, we can get into the same room. If we can get to the same room, Mama Moses, you might be onto something. Right.
Maybe a little music, but sometimes I'd rather hear talk. Love you too, man.
Love you too.
So what do you guys feel like? So let's talk about unity, right? Do you feel like there was more unity? I mean, we could always look back and it seems like there was more unity because the way history shows things in pockets, it will look like that. Just like 30 years from now, my kids or my kids' kids will be looking back and looking at the protests like, wow, you guys were really unified back in the day, because of what the pictures and the coming together and the protests and things of that nature. Is it
the picture that they will see, but they won't see a picture of Black folks out there. They'll see a picture of a diverse group of people.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The difference between today and in the 60s is it's a diverse group of people.
Yeah.
Like then it was all Black and maybe two whites in every crowd.
Right. Yeah, because there's always some
now
spots.
it looks like salt and pepper.
Right. Right. Next. Right.
If you ask me, I think that there is the progression to a degree is real because, like Pastor just alluded to, back in the 60s, it was just us.
Right.
And now, you got a more diverse group. So as far as to a degree, is because now we're getting the other side in on what, and there are a lot of that diverse group that's now saying, okay, maybe there is an issue. So there is some progress happening. I don't think it's substantial to the point where
it is, man. It is substantial. It really is, because you have
all
white groups.
Yeah.
standing on platforms,
Mm-hmm.
speaking on behalf of the oppression
Yeah.
of minorities.
Great. Yeah. You're right.
You know, and there was a time you would only see them sprinkled in with us, but now they're out on the forefront.
Yeah.
They've got the microphone in their hands. There are people out there that are doing that. You know, one race is founded by
So
white
you're
men.
saying their call to action has increased as opposed to just having a sentiment that you guys are being done wrong. The ones that are actually saying, hold on, because I was trying to
Make sense of it,
when as you were talking, because it's hard for me to see progression. And when you explain it that way, I see progression, because I've always said that slaves would have never been freed if it wasn't black people wanting to be free wasn't enough.
Right.
You needed some white dollars and some white help along the way as well, and they had that. And I think it might have been a significant portion of the population. I just think that at that time, as long as it was underground and nobody knew about it, I'm okay with it. And now the portion, it's almost like the veil has been pulled back, because you still got the support, but instead of being the silent support, it's like I'm gonna be out front with my support now. Because before it was, okay, I got a seller here, here's some food, here's some direction. Okay, go to this farm when you get there. This lawyer will take care of this. And now it's like, no, this is my platform, and that's BS, and we're not standing for it. So I think that the progression, at least from my perspective, the progression has been, it's not good enough just to think and feel away, but we got to be out there as well. And that I wholeheartedly agree. It has gotten that part has become a bigger visible thing than before. And I think that's happened progressively since the inception. You do have a core of people that don't look at the color of a thing more than the right and wrong of a thing. And I think I don't know why, but it's definitely progressed from, say, the 1860s, where the Underground Railroad was the key, to the 1900s, where you had people that was like, you know what, just having a house isn't good enough anymore. Let me get on this bus with my brothers and get a dog and fill with hoes too. To now, they're like, let us burn some stuff down too.
Yeah.
Well, I think that let's talk money 101. Good to see you, brother. You said look at my brother from Atlanta. There's three of us.
There's three of us in there. Well, three of y'all. I'm in Idaho. I'm not.
Hold on. No. That is four of us.
Now it's four.
Right.
So let's talk money, man. You kind of you need to put an S on the end of that, sir. It's singular. It's not singular. It's plural.
But I was going to say, you know, I think when you say, I'm going back to something that you said.
Morning, fellas.
You said it's hard to see progression. It's not, and I agree with what you're saying. I understand that the premise that drives that statement, because you see the struggle, and you still see the struggle. No matter how much progression, there's still a great struggle. And I think what happens is we lose sight of how deeply rooted the oppression has been. That makes sense. When you misunderstand how deeply rooted the oppression has been, it causes us to reduce the value or not see the real value of the progression.
Right.
Absolutely.
There was a time that if you were caught in an interracial relationship, it cost you your life.
Yeah.
Right.
Now you can't turn the TV on without seeing it in commercials.
Right.
Absolutely.
That is
So that's progression. I'm not trying to push
It-
interracial relationships, but what I'm saying is they're intentionally pushing and promoting diversity. Right.
Yeah.
So that's huge, because there was a time we couldn't even get on the TV.
Right. You couldn't do this.
Yeah.
No.
You had
And
to
then
shut
when-
your eyes
And when it was on the TV, it was no positive images.
Right.
unless you were shucking and jiving.
Yeah. They were in
So, but I
blackface.
also want to make sure to what AD, because AD, the way that his mind works is he breaks this up in blocks, in chapters.
Yes.
You know, progression
You already
in
know.
this area.
Right.
Right. We can see that in interracial relationships and all of that. And
Right.
we're not the only ones out there on the streets and everything.
Right.
But then somebody else, I think it was Cole, who talked about the inner community,
Right.
Mr. Duane.
that progression. Right. And what does that progression really look like?
Right.
And what do I mean by that? I'll give you an example. One example is raising a son, a young black boy, to a man, quote unquote man. And yet he does not stand on his own 2 feet. He continues to pull off his mama, pull off his aunties, uncles, pull off his grandmama or whatever, because he can't seem to get his act together.
Right.
Right. And it's prevalent in our society.
Right.
Personally, I had this thought, and I just had this thought this morning. And I didn't even know what we were talking about today. You know, you get a phone call from somebody in your family, and they want some help. Right.
Right.
And you say, okay, cool. You get the call at the last minute. Hey, I need some help, but I need it today.
Right.
You know, you knew 2 weeks ago that this was coming.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
You've been got that notice.
Yeah. And so what I personally, for me, people say, man, you work so hard. Yeah, you know why I work hard? Because I saw my mother work hard as a single parent raising 4 sons. How dare me
Right.
be a burden on her at 40 like I was at 4?
Right.
Right.
Hey,
You understand
Terry,
what I'm saying?
hit one of them bombs, Terry.
Thank God for mama, but yeah, I feel you.
So I can look at racial relations and talk about the progression, but then I want to look internally and ask ourselves, how have we progressed? You know, are we raising boys to men? Are we raising young girls to women? Are we doing what does that progression look like? And I know that a lot of people have success stories, but too many of us are lacking in those types of success stories because we got grown men still depending on their mothers. We got grown women who still haven't figured out what a real man looks like.
All right, hold on. Let me hit some of these comments. And then Terry, I know you were sharing a different perspective. Trina says, our organization is on board for political correctness because 50% of individuals voted for the racist clowns. Ashley said the oppression is mental. We'll get into that.
Yeah,
said,
I read that.
Duane, I guess Mr. Duane, but appreciate
I
you,
knew
sir.
that because nobody else said that they knew you. So I
Right.
knew
Right. Color of one's skin should have no barriers in relationship and marriage. It's lack of ownership or personal responsibility. And good morning.
Hey V, I invited her. Through Messenger.
Awesome.
I want to go back to something real quick that Pastor said, and then we'll leave it alone. I mean, one for the interracial relationship. For the interracial relationship piece, I did have a thing for Spanish girls for a short period of time. I don't know why. I just
Because you live in Miami.
It was a
That's
thing.
why.
You
Yeah.
live in Miami.
It was a thing. But shout out to that. That's all I gotta say on that. But too, on like
I believe
going back, and I'm not that old, so I had to do research. I had to look at stuff. I had to talk to old. I love talking to old men. That's why me and Pastor get along so well. But what it is, I think we. Oh man, yeah, that sounded shady. My fault. You know what I'm saying? We clicked though. But when you look back in the days, Martin Luther King was the what was not the SNCC, but with the other one, the conference that they had, that John Lewis, the Southern leader. Yeah. And they say from what the research I do, that it was truly Southern. They say Chicago, up north, Virginia on board. Like they say they didn't like Dr. King. They say he really wasn't liked and accepted until after he was dead. So like even back in the days, things that we see as more like they was together, they really weren't together and didn't agree with all that in the first place. So stuff ain't always what it seemed, you know.
Right.
But if I had to live in a time, I would choose this time. I feel we have progressed more than then. Our police still killing us. Are
Yes.
we even seeing lynching still happening? Yes, but I'm just saying
There you go.
I would choose this time again.
Yeah.
If it was up to me, because the progression that we made to this point is, to me, not more comfortable, just more progressive. Let's just leave it at progressive, more progressive than the times past.
Yeah.
So this is where I would choose to be. But just looking back, even on Kingdom, everything wasn't always together. You know,
Right.
people wouldn't ask, you know. Now I do like them old school preachers. Like a lot of them was seminary trained, and I don't know, like kind of more serious about the job. I think the church was I don't know. It's hard to say. The church always been divided. We always had something going on, but it seemed like we moved a little bit more in one voice than we do now. But we still have challenges there. But I mean, I still would choose this time though.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
But just
Go ahead,
by interracial relationship, was that you, 80?
what's that?
I had a different perspective.
Not interracial, but just no. On when you started, and Pastor jumped in. You were saying as far as our progress, you were saying.
Because like you said, and I totally agree, because I still get those looks out here, and I know that when he said that back in the day you could not do that. That's dead, right?
Right.
And so I still, to this day in 2020, get that look from people.
Well, it kind of goes to what he said just now. Remember, he said, I had a thing for Spanish women, and I don't know why. Because you live in South Florida with Cubans, Puerto Ricans, Panamanians, Bolivians, I mean, you name it, they there.
They there. So love Havana.
And
when I was watching the Orange is the New Black, and it almost came back. I don't know that girl's name, the Spanish girl on there.
Yeah, the one that got the prison guard fired. Yeah. But like Terry, you got to realize where you are. You in militia country. Like there's legitimate threats against the U.S. government in the state that you live in.
Oh, trust
so,
man.
Yes, I have I have an unspoken level of respect for Terry.
Mm-hmm.
Because you are living your life and you are behind enemy lines.
Yeah. Absolutely
right.
true.
So
he living on the edge for real.
Yeah.
Do you
how did your wife feel about it? T? Does she catch the looks, or is that something you just see?
She caught it a couple of times because when she ride, my wife is the miniature version of First Lady Crystal.
Okay.
When it comes to me, she riding.
Thanks, cool.
And so she's always, what she say? Look, what? You know what I'm saying? So it's always that kind. And we're talking about being behind enemy lines. I was watching, they had the Proud Boys invaded DC this past weekend. And a lot of the jackets that these young men were wearing, the Proud Boys, they were from East Idaho. Yeah, on the back of the jackets it said East Idaho, and I looked, and I was like, "Ooh, I really am." Behind.
Yeah, you in?
Yeah.
But for about 3 years, though, I was oblivious to being behind enemy lines. I knew it was crazy, but I didn't really know.
Yeah.
And so
how long ago you said until about what?
So for about a year and a half ago, I realized I'm really behind enemy line. I'm really behind this thing.
How'd y'all turn out in the election?
Red.
Okay.
Red.
Yeah.
I don't think there was a blue spot in Idaho.
It's Idaho, E.
I don't think there was a blue spot in any part
like in the middle
Idaho.
of the country is all just kind of
he might have won 75% of the vote there.
Yeah,
I think it was pretty. I think it was Trump and it was Kanye.
Good job.
If I can be honest with you,
Kanye got more votes than Biden in Idaho. Wow.
We got some progress. Kanye in the building.
but
if somebody voted for Kanye, please call in. I just want to know. I just want to talk with you. Like, I promise I ain't gonna, like, no judgment, but I'm just like, what was the real thought? Was it like one of your favorite albums? It was like
I don't listen.
It was high school dropout, man.
Like, what was it? Oh, like, let's just talk. I'm just curious. Like, I try my hardest not to judge you.
It was walks.
I did talk to someone, during my rides. I picked someone up, and a young lady. She was like, she's asked me who I was voting for, and she told me she was voting for Trump, and then she was like, either Trump, and then she said, or Kanye, and I was like, I almost stopped the ride. Like, wait, hold on, we about to have a chat. To kind of get Trump because he was in office, he did his thing, and you don't. And I was like,
but Kanye,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, her thing was she was just more anti-Biden than anything.
Anything.
Like
Okay.
she never really gave a big explanation of why Kanye. She just like, I'm on the fence. I'm gonna
It's
choose,
like a rebellious
and then-
kind of pick, I guess.
right.
Well, yeah,
and in
because,
my mind, I was like,
there-
I'm gonna
there's
just
certain
put you to
people who
Kanye
refuse to
because
vote.
then that'll,
Yeah, I'm
Does
sorry.
anybody remember Jesse Jackson?
yeah.
Oh, you mean the same Jesse Jackson that said he spit in every white person tea he ever made when he was a waiter in South Carolina?
I'm
Jesse
sorry.
Jackson?
I'm sorry. What?
Oh yeah.
Jesse
When-
said that?
When Jesse was running for president, Jesse revealed, I don't know if it was before or after, it was early 80s. Jesse revealed that he had spit in every white person tea he had served while he was a waiter during high school.
Jesse.
Wow.
Yeah. Progress.
Well, that's why he didn't make it. That's why he
I
didn't
didn't
get
know he
past
did
it.
that.
But
That's mad.
Didn't even get past the primaries, right? He didn't even.
No, I don't think so.
What was the hype around Jesse though? Like we believed, right? Like I can't remember
Yeah.
like the feeling.
You
Was
are
it like
somebody.
You
we
are
thought
somebody.
that he was
Yeah,
really
he
going to
just-
do it? Was it
Yeah.
reminiscent of Obama? Like, or was it
It's,
like?
he's
It won't that big. It might have been that in the black community, but not in
yeah.
America.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
I think
okay.
he was hype, and then he was connected. I think because he was connected to Martin Luther King. I that's what it seemed like. I was younger, so I don't really know, everything
Yeah.
that went around that. But it
Hey,
just
let's ask
why
the
I
old
followed,
man. Let's
hyped
ask
up
the old
back in
man.
the day.
Yeah. Surely he knows. was the hype real?
I told you guys before, anybody that walked with Martin Luther King, that was a leader, that's still alive today, was never a threat
Right,
Why that?
because they're still alive today.
because they're still alive today.
Oh,
Exactly.
Right. Yeah,
That's the new thing.
that's not hard to follow nugget right there. But
Yeah.
Can you drop one of those? Because that's one of them arterial.
it messed me up.
all right.
Wow. Sir.
Does that line of thinking solidify JFK to you as a game changer, as a real deal, or that's just kind of anomaly?
Anyone that was a real threat was gotten rid of, period.
Yeah.
True.
If you survived the 60s, you were never a threat.
Never.
Yeah.
Everybody thinking about folk right now. Let that
Yeah, 'cause I'm
marinate.
sitting here like-
Everybody think.
That's
right.
in your spirit. Like Country Wayne. Shout out to Country Wayne.
I wanted to see
Huey
what-
Newton was he eventually became a crackhead and got killed over dope, allegedly.
Right.
Over dope.
Yeah, I don't believe that. Yeah.
Is it- yeah. So I mean, like, wow.
Yeah, I would like to see. I wish everybody would have lived, but I'm curious
I
to see
want to
what.
make it clear. This does not take away from their efforts.
Right.
Oh yeah, no, I hear you.
Right.
I hear
I'm
you.
not speaking negatively about anybody. I'm just saying that if you were there when King was there,
right,
and you survived that era,
right,
no one was ever worried about you.
right.
Yeah,
Not
they cut the head. They cut the head. Yeah.
Anything. You just
Now I'll have to ask you to take another look at Louis Farrakhan.
That's what Cole just commented the same thing.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I'm on the fence with Farrakhan, man. Like, I don't know. I'm gonna leave that one alone.
yeah. I listen.
I don't have
listen,
anything about Farrakhan one way or the other. I think he's a blowhard. That's what I think that.
Okay, this is what I will say to you. This is what I'll say. When I was in Los Angeles, whenever we had a major event at First AME Church, First AME Church had 17,000 members. So whenever there was a political candidate running for office, you did not run for office and not come to First AME and talk to Dr. Cecil L. Chip Murray. Just didn't happen.
Yeah.
And then you bring in the Metro Police. Now, this was an AME church. They would call in the nation to help with security.
Right.
Right? It's AME church, but the pastor had a great relationship with the local leader of the nation in Los Angeles.
Right.
And they would bring in the nation and they'd surround the block along with Metro. Right? Now, I thought that was huge. I thought it was huge. And I was having a conversation with Pastor Murray one day. I said, Pastor Murray, why do you call the nation in? I said, you are that confident in their ability to protect? He said, no, I'm that confident in their ability to distract.
Mm. Mm.
I was like, wow.
Mm.
He says, because they're not carrying weapons, they just look regimented. They look well put together.
Right.
Yeah.
Just they got the
Yeah.
look. Wow.
They get them boys together now.
That's powerful.
Man. And that's and he went in to tell me that, he says, the scripture says having a form of godliness but denying the power. Are a lot of people who look really, really good. They look really good at what they do. They look well put together.
Right.
He said, but you begin to peel that onion back. When you see people who sleep with multiple women, they have discipline in one area and they lack discipline in other areas. The question is, do they have the discipline in the right place to help you move forward? That's the question. That's why you can get a whole lot of people in a room and still not make a move. Look at how many people you have in a room, how many people you can bring together. You can bring that many people together, but you ain't made a move.
Right.
Now, I'm not trying to come down on anybody.
Right.
But you say one thing, but you showing something else, because you spend 30 years threatening people and 0 time actually making a move.
Yeah. On the fence.
Well, this show just took a turn. And,
the
turn that it took. This was a reality that I don't think I've ever in life. And I like to think of myself as a student of history. Like real talk, like a serious student of history, but I've never had that perspective ever.
I think I've had it for the last year or so. When Pastor just said it, I've been kind of looking at those at that level, at certain levels, and been, holding a certain level, population captive with their words, where what they speak, should make transition. But I question it. I always ask, like, you have such, one what they say about Malcolm, one man shouldn't have so much power. Like, you have the ability to really shift something, but you don't see a shift. And I always just question, like, why is it?
So my question is this then. One, does that, and I hope I ask this right. Like, but a better question is this: what qualifies you to be assassinated? What not by definition of assassination, political figure. I mean, like, why King and not John Lewis? Because of what? And whatever that thing is, that qualifier that says, okay, we got to kill this person. Right. Does it also apply to things? Does it apply to everybody? Did Martin Luther King have to be killed just like Hitler had to be killed? And is it under the same qualification?
I think it's when you start disrupting the system and making people uncomfortable.
Either way.
Because when I do it personally, like if I start here, disrupting the system and making it uncomfortable, right now my impact is not huge. But when the numbers, here go from like no zeros to like 8 zeros, and then I start saying these same things and folks start like, you know what? My brother said something. I'm gonna do something today, and the shift begins to happen. And of course, there's those that are watching that start calling the people like, "Yo, this dude is changing things," from a different space, And I'm not working within the system. I think that's when that disruptor, people start eyeballing. My phone is hacked. They're watching, listening to every call, every person. What is this dude doing? They're watching every move. And then eventually, I believe once, if I'm really making change outside of the system, and I'm making people uncomfortable, disrupting money, because that's the biggest thing. Once you start disrupting folks' money,
that's when they get
a real threat. So that's my opinion.
It's tricky.
That's how I look at it.
Halcino said something.
Hold on, go down.
Halcino's always saying something. What do you say?
It says in the coin too, bro, that there will be no black Messiah.
I thought that somewhere.
He said, he also said something else.
Okay, hold on. Let me go back up. I missed some Halcino comments. What's up, Halcino? Great morning to you. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, did I go too far?
Everybody rocking with us today.
Can't say he hasn't made move. Have to know the nation. I feel you.
Right. And that's a great point. And I'm glad you said that. Can't say he hasn't made moves. You have to know the nation. The reality is, when you've really made moves, people who don't know you know you.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You shouldn't have to be in the nation or know the nation to recognize whether or not he's made moves. Thank you, brother.
Thank you for your comment.
Why does Duane have on the mask? Did I miss something?
Oh yeah, Latinos in the building. That's why.
You think the nation coming?
There's a lot of professional fakers. Yes. Okay, we got that. He's influence. You are a great student of history, Duane, and the great aspect about studying history is combining minds with others who have different perspectives. It broadens your understanding.
Yeah, absolutely.
You make people question the norm. Says in the account below, there will be no Black Messiah. Your media attention. Cole says, if you are considered to be a person who can unify people, that then you had to be neutralized, at least back in the 60s.
Okay. So divided, they conquer.
He said, wait up, bro. Hope you lost your mask.
That's the reason why I did it.
Breaking down strongholds. Rip Periscope. Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah.
I think it's hype, and they opening up Twitter. I'm convinced. Fred Hampton is a prime example. He was just a charismatic as Malcolm X and mobilizing people. Then, thank you, Halcino, counter to pro aided in the assassinating him December 3rd, 1969. All right. I'm not a nation member. I know some moves y'all have yet to mention. Integrated into Twitter Live. Yes, indeed. It'll be integrated into Twitter Live.
Halcino, brother, where you from? Can you type where you from?
DC. He's DC. I've been watching him. I got my FBI on him. DC.
And the only reason I asked that question is because of this.
Oh, Alexandria. My bad. I apologize. Oh, you're from California. Okay. But I know
you in the.
Oh, maybe it's in DC.
And here's the reason that I asked the question.
Or DMV.
Because just on region alone, not anybody knowing anything. If you're from the South, chances are you have a better understanding of Martin Luther King Jr. than you ever will of Malcolm X, because of Christian roots and Southern values going hand in hand.
I mean,
vice versa. If you're from New York, if you're from the Northeast, the Mid-Atlantic to the Northeast, or the Bay Area in California, chances are you're gonna Malcolm X is gonna resonate with you a little more because of the area that you grew up in. And to this day, it's a sad thing because I didn't have a comprehensive understanding of who Malcolm X actually was until I was an adult. I used to rock a hat with an X on it when I was in high school, only because my cousin from New York was rocking the X hats with the medallion.
It was the 90s, yeah.
That's the only reason I know. And then I started having conversations, and they spoke to people's perspective, and they spoke to people where they were. So when Martin Luther King Jr., the reason why he was the person he was, because he was already influencing. I mean, they called him to be a part of it. He wasn't the most well versed. He wasn't the most handsome. He wasn't the biggest. He wasn't the smartest. But he was the one person who can galvanize that entire movement in Alabama, unlike anybody else.
Right.
And then when you talk about that same pizzazz, that same integrity. Malcolm X. I remember reading FBI transcripts of some of the telling or wiretaps that they had on Malcolm X, and I remember one of the FBI notes was that compared to Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X was a Boy Scout.
Why we airing dirty laundry though?
What's that?
Why you putting his laundry out there like that though?
No, I'm just saying it's perspective.
Yeah.
Like, cause we look famous scene. We all the barbershop.
All right.
You better not say that. No, was it Coming to America? Dr. Martin Luther King. You better not say that. Dr. Martin Luther King. I see Dr. Martin Luther King. I want it. He punched me in the face. I said, how old you are, King? King said, I'm 35.
You lying. You ain't never met no Dr. Martin.
All
right.
Yeah, you put the V in there. He put the
Alcina, I'm with you too. I cried too. I knew, you know it's coming, but when it happened, I just was like, like it's almost like it's hoping for another ending, but you just knew it was coming, right?
Like, and Pastor still got me on these assassinations, and they got me thinking too. Like, if you consider the game changer and you disrupt, as AD's definition, and you got to go, it makes me wonder who ordered the assassination. So whose presence did Martin Luther King's disrupt? You know what I'm saying? And with Malcolm X, that got me even more curious. So you a game changer, you uprooting things. So the nation killed you, or America killed you? Like who was more threatened, and why was that person more threatened? You get what I'm saying? Like it begs more questions. J.
Edgar Hoover.
Yeah.
J. Edgar Hoover hated everybody.
Yeah.
And Martin Luther King pulled at the heartstring of America.
Yeah.
All right.
That's real.
All right, hold on. I got one more thing I wanted to throw in here. Man, time be flying. We need like 2 hours. Oh, that's what I was saying when she said a radio show with music. We can't do music. we're gonna barely get any ads in. All right. So let me ask this question. Let you guys think about this, right? And I thought about this because I keep hearing it come up. Would Black Wall Street still be here had it not been destroyed?
No.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
No.
It would have been relocated. Maybe it wouldn't have been right in Tulsa, but
it wouldn't be Black Wall Street.
Right.
We would have sold it.
It would have been appropriated.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would just be Wall Street.
So bit by bit.
You got to remember. You have to remember that, and I think I said this yesterday, that some would question whether or not America is a country versus a business. Because in the 20s, America was purchased by billionaires.
Okay.
The DuPonts,
Morgans, Rockefellers.
Right. So you have to think about that. So
not Rockefeller. Okay, no.
If you know that the foundation of our financial banking system is private,
right,
then you know that a person controls the flow of money, not a system. So I control who makes money and who doesn't.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I know that's like what do you mean? What do you mean? When it comes to making decisions and investments on Wall Street, do you watch the market or do you listen to people? Do people give you guidance?
Right. True. That's true.
Right.
Speculation.
I agree for different reasons. I agree with what Pastor's saying, but I agree for different reasons. And Halcino, this is what I mean when I say it. Have you guys ever heard of the assembly line?
The who?
Okay.
The assembly line.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Who gets credit for that? Ford, right?
Henry Ford.
Henry Ford, right?
Yeah.
You know who one of Henry Ford's best friends was, because he was an extremely smart person and had like 75 patents or inventions that he doesn't get credit for.
Carver.
George Washington Carver, the same man that they cut his nuts off, excuse my language.
Oh wow.
Because they didn't want him to procreate with all the white women that were around, because he was an extremely brilliant man, and he was around in those circles. So what they did was, one, it changed the octave in his voice, and it made him less threatening, and then he couldn't procreate with the people that he was. Yeah. So that's just one example.
I'm learning today.
I'm telling you.
I knew about the peanut butter and jelly, but I didn't. But
no.
The other ones I didn't know about. Okay.
George Washington Carver is probably credited historically with over 150 inventions.
Yeah.
And that's just the ones he's credited, not the ones that they said other people got from him. Yeah, V.
Yeah.
That's why his voice is so loud, because so high. If you listen to a recording of him, he sounds like a 12-year-old before puberty.
Really? You know what? You can make me Google.
No,
Oh, yeah,
absolutely.
I'm
So all I'm saying is that there's a lot of things that have America has benefited from, that the people who are getting paid from it, the people who are prospering from it, are so far removed from the person who actually did it that it's sickening that it exists, and that we haven't gone back and righted those wrongs. Tell me, how does Eli Whitney get credit for the cotton gin? He ain't picking no cotton. You think he cares about how long it takes Ephraim and AD and Terry and Duane to pick cotton?
I would have been in the field.
Right. So it was the people. It was the ones that wanted to. How can I make this work smarter, not harder? How can I make this happen? Oh, let me go over here and create something to make this easier. But that's not
this goes all the way back to the children of Israel and making stones, right? They had a quota, and whether or not they had all the materials, they still had the quota. They had to figure out how to make those bricks faster. They had to do it. And so it's the same thing in slavery. You have to figure out how to do this without killing yourself, because they're not going to cut the quota for you. They'll just cut you.
Right.
Real quick though, can I play this soundbite of George Washington Carver's voice? I've never heard it.
Sure.
Never heard it. Let me
George Washington Carver's experiments with the peanut have been of enormous value to Southern agriculture. Dr. Carver is right here in the studio with me, and we'll let him tell his own story. Dr. Carver.
Thank you, Mr. Habrilla. And it's quite an experience to sit back and have your life story acted out for you.
No, but it's a life story with a lot more chapters yet to be written, Dr. Carver.
I certainly hope so, Mr. Habrilla. But I'm not as young as I once was.
That sounds like an old
I was
white woman.
somewhere in the 70s on my last birthday.
Yo, I'm like,
wow, really?
Yeah, okay. So let me jump back to Wall Street, and let me jump back to the original. So progress, yes, we've made some progress, right? But somebody can equally say they pushing back on us. Maybe they just not. Maybe they systematically cutting our nuts off now. You see what I'm saying?
Wow,
they might not be able to just do it physically like they did back in the day. Maybe that's on the lower cases. But like, if you take away my ability to earn, make money, and provide for my family in the way that you do, maybe you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then on the Wall Street, I'm kind of with Pastor. But my question is this though: if we would have had a chance, what was that Wall Street 1921, 22, something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
So if we would have been able to have that for 20 more years, 30 more years, 50 more years, like would we have been able to raise a family that better understood generational wealth and entrepreneurship, and maybe it would have been around?
Possibly, but I believe it would have been, my reasoning is I believe it would have been gone because of like desegregation. To me, that's how I look at it. Like with the businesses, segregating into other businesses and everyone taking their money to what they feel is a better place. And a lot of cities suffered that. I don't think anyone's as strong as Black Wall Street. But go ahead, Pastor.
I think what you have to realize, so a couple of things happened. You see the timeline for Black Wall Street.
Right.
And then you see what came later. It was around 1927 when America was taken over by billionaires, the 5 families. Okay. So what was the effort for? It was to make sure that something like Black Wall Street never happened again. Right.
Okay.
So the question is, could we have still put that level of information into the hearts and minds of our children of the next generation to make things happen? Absolutely. How many on this panel, how many out there know who John Hope Bryant is?
I've heard the name.
You've heard the name?
I've heard the name.
Operation Hope. You ever heard of Operation Hope?
Yes.
Yeah.
So the founder and creator of Operation Hope is a Black man, John Hope Bryant, who was born in, I think, Compton, California in 1966. And I met this brother, and I'll never forget when I got out of the military in 1990. I met him, and no Operation Hope wasn't even a thing. It was a thought. He had already established it, but it hadn't gone anywhere yet.
Right.
And he tells the story about how he was sleeping in his car. He was homeless and sleeping in his car. And today, that same brother was one of the financial advisors of Bill Clinton.
Right.
Wow.
Right. The Operation Hope is one of the largest non-for-profit financial institutions on the planet. On the planet. It's a black bank.
That's crazy.
And the entire effort is to empower communities, to get people off their feet, to get people off welfare, to get people's businesses off the ground. Right. I'm talking billions of dollars. He travels across the world, and I'm talking about a brother who started out homeless, living in his car.
Right.
Right. And is a multi-billionaire and has funneled billions of dollars into communities. And most people don't even know who he is.
But that's the America I'm trying to buy into, though.
Yeah.
Sleeping in the car, becoming a billionaire, helping somebody else get on. And anybody can do it.
But think about it. Think about it. He's doing all this and you don't know him.
Right.
How successful would he be if everybody knew who he was?
Mm-hmm.
Right. True.
Right.
This is true.
I think we're in a place now where we're poised to be in a better place and a better position to make. I mean, because when you look at Atlanta, right? Atlanta's probably the closest thing in America to Black Wall Street.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think the timing of the reason why I don't think it would have worked was the timing. You got to remember, we're less than 60 years out of slavery at that moment.
Right.
But it happened though.
No. But here, no, I'm not talking about the part that it happened, because that's not accident, right? That's not accident. Who we were and who we've been in this country and to this country and for this country. If you take away us, this country would never be a superpower. And I would put my life on the line if anybody tried to argue that point. This country would not be America the way it is right now without the slaves who were involved from the inception and every contribution that came from us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so I'm talking about blood transfusions. I'm talking about air conditioners. I'm talking about cell phone technology. I'm talking about helicopters. These are just a handful of the things that came from us, right? Let alone like 80% of the capital that the companies produce from 1621 until 1776. You can't. America wouldn't be America without us.
Absolutely.
Now, you go 55 years after slavery, and the rest of America starts to see, wait a minute, these ain't just some dumb coons no more. Wait a minute, they know more than just how to dig a hole and cut a tree down and do what master say. Hold on, this is really dangerous. So that's why I tend to agree with Pastor when he says he doesn't think it would happen, because at that point, like, I know poor white people today whose calling card is still, I'm not black.
Right.
I might be poor and ain't got nothing and live in a trailer that I can walk at any point in time and fall through the floor, but at least I'm not black.
Not black though.
Those are more of the people that causes problems than people who actually got money and could be like, I ain't giving you no home loan. Because they ain't going to come out and burn your house down. They're not going to drop dynamite from an airplane like the sheriff department did in Tulsa.
Yeah.
Right.
So I just think the timing was at that point in time in our country. If they would have gave us that, if that would have been allowed, you got to think, even though none of them was as big as Tulsa, we've had the Greensboros and we had the Durham, North Carolina. Those were black economic strong suits in the black community in America, in the American community for a while. But even those things were stripped out. They were systematically stripped out. So one, you got bombed and burned, and then the other stuff was systematically removed.
But you got the institutions. I mean, like we talking Tulsa, but I'm just saying I don't think we can lessen that effect. If you got families, generation, if granddaddy was giving out loans and had businesses, I think that it just makes a reverse effect. I feel that if the family is strengthened, you get a better society. Now, let's say everybody don't become a millionaire, but how about daddy stay at the house and then we don't have as many broken homes?
Right.
Maybe we just got normal people. So I don't know if, okay, so maybe it was in Tulsa, but it breaks out here just like it's in Atlanta now, but they, it pops up everywhere, right? But like, if we had generation upon generation who knew how to how to eat out in their own community, like the Chinese do now, the Asians do now. If the dollar stayed with us, if we could fix our own playgrounds, like if they were able to do the things that they did, if we could just mimic what happened in Tulsa, I just think that it would have, maybe they would have burnt down still. I don't know. I mean, we playing God here, but I'm just saying it would have had a lasting effect on us to this day. And that's the 20s.
And I agree with you.
We would have been way stronger we would have had some real progress.
Well, see, and what strengthens your argument is this. The reason why they could do what they did in Tulsa is because of legalities. For us to win, we have to win in courts. Like, you want to talk about what made Dr. Martin Luther King so successful? It was because he found a way to win in court and force the hand of the government. And then instead of you blindly turning the other eye, turning the eye and not seeing what's going on, you're forced to deal with it. That's why they decided to do the interstate bus routes as a form of protest, as opposed to just voting. Because if it's just voting, that's a state's issue. You know what? We ain't messing.
They made it federal.
However, because it's an interstate issue, now the federal government must act. So it's like that perfect storm. Like the sad thing is, we could do Tulsa anytime. It's in our DNA. We are groomed for it.
I don't even think we need a Tulsa right now, D. I think we need what you talk about, what Pat's talk about. We need elected officials, and this will turn all around. Like we win in court, we get up out there, and then we can get us a Tulsa maybe like 20 years from now.
Yeah.
So good. I'm glad you segued to that. We're gonna definitely talk about that next week. And I had it up. Does the color of politician matter? That's a quick dun. But
stay tuned next week.
the what you call it. So we talked about Black Wall Street. And real quick, going through some comments, and when people put certain things up, I like to kind of check it. And Halcino has let's go up and say what up to some folks that come into the room. Let's see. So they keep us from starting from square one, so we can't build generationally. I believe now we can. I believe now we have. I believe there are a lot of generation, at least second generation. This is to a rebuttal to Duane's Atlanta. Now he said not at all. PG County, Maryland, and I did some research, and you're spot on there, Halcino. Because I was going through, like, they had the top 10, and 3 of the towns in that area are the wealthiest Black.
I still like Atlanta though. Y'all don't got no entertainment like us, so
so now I was building it. Let's see, all off of slavery, all industries stem from slavery. There's a lot, especially anyone that's been around more than 50 years. Bull City, Durham, yes indeed. Jay Hamilton in the building. Great morning to you. Facts, Independence, Sanctuaries in the building. I think that's how we also said we don't have them setting rules for us that they don't follow. Like, you leave the house at 18.
They don't gotta leave at 18.
Right. I mean, there needs to be a preparation. You have to be ready to be an adult. Like, because I know we always say it. People have said it, kick the kid out at 18, but are they ready to be in the world at 18? All right. Or have you prepared them? Them?
Maybe they need one more year.
And the military science and knowledge is such. Said, preach, Aaron. They take us. They gave us civil rights. Law is the
gave
key.
Us. Felt like we kind of had to snatch
They
that
conceded. There was a concession. Don't forget Thurgood Marshall. Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
We ain't got no Blue Flame. We got Stadium though. So
not better than Mercedes-Benz. Hey, hold on, bro. Don't make me rap. I ain't even from here, but I like Atlanta, man.
Look, don't get yourself in trouble talking.
Hey, I'm trying to tell you, man. They doing a little something.
Oh,
all them government jobs.
So let me ask this before we go, and this is probably gonna lead us towards 10:30. But like, do you feel like, and we probably spoke about this way back, but with corporations now, they're even touting the Black Lives Matter, right? You know, they'll say, we stand with you guys. I got emails. We stand in solidarity with you guys. Make sure you come. We got a sale tomorrow. So, you know, even Walmart. I remember Walmart had a whole speech. I was waiting at the pharmacy, and they talked for a good 10 minutes. I don't know who it was, CEO, marketing VP, or whatever, you know, on the loudspeaker thing, saying how Black Lives Matter, we care about you guys. You know, you guys mean much. You know, it's like a whole speech. And I was like, wow. Yeah. So we always talk about, do they recognize the black dollar? And I feel like now they do see it. They're like, yo, hey, we with you guys. We love you. Black Lives Matter. You know, so I feel like it's become a mantra now because they see the dollars. They probably always known it, but I think something has happened. Something changed. Something shifted where they saw, like, if we don't stand on a side, if we don't pick a side, we gonna get lost.
I saw a conversation with Elton Brand and Daryl Morey, Daryl Morey is the white VP of basketball operations for the Philadelphia 76ers. And they were in the stands the other night having a conversation, Elton Brand and Daryl Morey. And Daryl Morey had a face mask that read Black Lives Matter across the front of it.
Right.
To your point about corporations standing with Black Lives Matter.
Right.
Yeah, I think they force them to pick a side because they know we'll take our dollar away, but we're not going to give it to our own self. We'll take it from McDonald's and give it to Burger King. So they just try to be the good corporations.
And that's what it boils. Go ahead, Terry.
That's my dude. Now I know for real you my dude.
There you go.
See, look, both of y'all can get a tar heel to the face.
Go ahead.
Both of y'all can get a tar heel to the face.
Go ahead.
Don't come in here with that Duke mess.
Before we get into that fight,
I leave the Dookies in the toilet.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Don't come in here with that mess. And you from North Carolina, Terry, talking about Duke? I know y'all. Look,
you heard it. I
know they ain't going over good at the family reunion.
And
look, that's every family reunion in North Carolina because the family split. The family.
He said I knew it was something about Duane.
See,
like,
I gotta see these pictures.
The most hated teams are the Cowboys, Duke, and the Yankees, man.
And look, and those are Duke and the Cowboys are my brother's favorite team. That's why I like Carolina and the 49ers.
I'm gonna send you every picture that I took in Cameron Indoor Stadium.
My niece go to Shaw right now. My niece go to Shaw and Raleigh House. You know, where'd you go to school at?
Who?
My niece went to Shaw. He said he went to school in Raleigh. So
nice.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out to Shaw, Willie Gary.
Yeah. Shaw.
We back good again. So we good. We good.
All right, my people. We're gonna get out of here.
Now we just rambling.
It was a great combo though. It's a great combo. I knew once sports come in the mix, then we go. HBCU, Popular League, of course they are.
And this is why you get the membership.
Gotta get the members.
We're gonna get out here.
Let's agree.
I played it.
Yeah, we can disagree, but not walk in disagreement. We don't have to be disagreeable.
Right. Right. Break that down, brother.
See, I knew that was so special about V. She got a prophetic calling on her life, and she a Tar Heel. So, Terry, you do got some good friends. Wait, and my boy, as long as he don't say he a Florida State fan. No disrespect, Ashley. No disrespect, Ashley.
It's to you.
That's for V. This is for V.
Oh, V. Say it ain't so, V.
What we say? Hold up.
He said no to Duke and to Cowboys.
That ain't right. Look at this. It's probably eating
I love
pork. Can't take
See,
this.
Harold Stewart, I'm gonna tell you something, man. Harold Stewart is like, dude, for real, for real. Now, you a FSU football fan? You my dude, man. Hey, I don't know where you at. You in? Where's he at? Virginia?
Nah, DMV.
DMV.
Love so much.
The
second best black place to live.
I'm gonna look. I'm gonna look. Have seen her listen. As soon as I
You mean the Florida State criminals?
I'm coming to you, brother.
You mean the Florida State criminals?
Yeah, I told you he's in DC.
Hey, watch it. You watch
Terry,
it.
did Peter Work sell you some steaks?
How long ago was that? Get out of here.
Did Davis West the geese?
All right, guys, we getting out of here. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Same place, same
They
channel.
always
Freestyle Friday.
Freestyle Friday.
Tomorrow,
Be here. Be square.
the clownery right here is going to continue. It's
I'm
gonna
telling
continue.
you.
Absolutely.
I didn't want to catch that. Good morning. Welcome to another episode. Good morning. Everybody.